Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. Let's talk about artificial intelligence as mathematical vomit. Please enjoy some pictures from my Paint These folder, a folder titled Paint These that I want to paint someday. Alright, AI is amazing at some things, isn't it? It's all the rage. Everybody's talking about it, using it. You see commercials on it all the time. And I've used it. It is amazing at some things. I did a few videos back, where I read some of the nonsense I had it write for me. Letters from Abraham Lincoln and poems by Emily Dickinson addressed to people who were born after she died. So it's interesting, and it's you can do some interesting things with it. You can do history outlines, and it's not too bad about history outlines. If it were to make a mistake and say 1073 instead of 1173, nobody would die. Whereas for medical, legal, and mental health, it's not safe. And AI is also good at asking general questions. For example, I told it about this truck I have, and it responded and said, this truck is good in these ways, and it is known to have these problems, so you should check this, and you should replace this in your motor if you haven't done it yet. I didn't ask it that. I just said, hey, I've got this truck. This is my truck. Like a bored teenager who just goes to somebody and says, hey, man, this is my truck. I said that to AI, and it gives me, information on the engine and what needs to be fixed generally on the engine. So it's not useless, is it? AI is not utterly useless. But it's useless for anything important, for medical, for legal, for mental health. I know a guy whose father passed away, and he's involved in a bunch of stuff with the estate. And he and I were having conversation, and he's compiling legal documents for the court, and he's having them written by AI. And he plugs the stuff in, and he says, write me a legal document like this and this for this. And he says there's this disclaimer that comes up that you can't use it for legal purposes, but whatever, it's good. I type it up and it's good. Man, he had better comb through that, because you can get in trouble for submitting AI to courts now. There have been lawyers who are disbarred for it. Now, this guy's not a lawyer, but he could get in trouble, especially if he says it's not AI and submits it to the court and it is AI, and he's not the one that wrote the stuff. So you can get in trouble with it. It can make mistakes and say things that are stupid. I don't know if you know this, ladies and gentlemen, but they checked the AI summary of an economics paper on a TV show. This was a couple years ago when it first came out, and one of the citations in the paper was from an economics textbook published blah, blah, blah. It was by this guy and that guy. That economics textbook doesn't exist. The ISBN number is not real. It doesn't refer to a real book. Those authors don't exist. They've not published anything else. And AI just made that up. It just makes stuff up. They call it hallucinations. And I don't know if you're aware of that sort of stuff going on, but it's not just inaccuracy. It's total fabrication of things. Now, AI is being portrayed as brilliant and amazing and very useful because they need to sell it. The cost of building and running AI is exorbitant. The chips that go into it are the most advanced in the world, and the electricity to run those chips costs a lot, especially if you're running a lot of chips, which is what they have to do. So they've got to convince people that it's useful. And you've got all these commercials where people are this hapless idiot who doesn't understand what's going on at his workplace. He's got a job. He's at the conference table. There are people around him saying stuff. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. So he just types one of the phrases that somebody said into the AI, and the AI responded with some stuff, and he said one of the things that the AI responded with, and all of a sudden he's a hero. Awesome. He's doing great in his job, and everything's great, and he's happy, and the boss is amazed. The boss is like, if anyone has any questions, ask that guy. So amazing. He used AI and knew what to say at the right moment. So they're selling it. And they've got to sell it because it costs a hell of a lot to run. But they are going to sell it to the public with the idea that people who have real jobs, nurses, doctors, and lawyers, and computer people at real corporate jobs, are using it for something. So if the guy on the street who works at 7-Eleven goes home at night, thinks that it's being used by brilliant people, he's going to use it. And maybe get himself into trouble, maybe not. Maybe he's just going to use it to ask about what he can do to fix his old truck or something like that. But beware. This is just a prediction machine. They are just saying, given what the user puts in as a question, what, through all of humanity's written stuff on the internet, would likely be the answer. And there are things like double words, triple words. There's times when it gets stuck repeating a sentence over and over because it doesn't think about what it's saying. It has no idea. It's got no mind. It's got no consciousness. It's just mathematical vomit, ladies and gentlemen. It predicts what it should say mathematically using the words that you put in. And to think that there's anything intelligent about that, or that there's anything, I think intelligence is the only word I can use. There's no intelligence there. And this individual who thinks that it's brilliant because it spits out a legal document that looks to him convincing is terrifying. It's convincing to somebody who doesn't know legal stuff. It's convincing to someone who doesn't understand the terms. And if it puts some Latin term, er paribus prospectus or whatever in there, he's going to look at that and say, my God, this is amazing. I wouldn't even known that term, and the AI knows to put it in there, right? And then you get to court, and they're like, why is that term there? That's a Latin term for, abusing your neighbor or something like that. Why is it in this legal document about a will? And the person who put it in the AI and got it spat out wouldn't know. They're convinced by the AI being brilliant because they don't know or understand what they are being shown by the AI, what they're being told and given. And that's who the customer is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be people who can use it without a disaster coming, because those people will be weeded out eventually. If you can use it without a disaster and the mistakes that it make don't really matter to you, then you're going to be the customer for AI. And it's not going to be millions of corporate people who are replacing their stuff with random mathematical vomit. If you do use AI to make this random mathematical vomit, then you got to go through and edit and check it all and fix it. So you might not even be saving much time. There are probably people who can save time, and you could probably write shitty short stories and novels with it, and you can definitely write a poem in the voice of Dr. Seuss explaining Immanuel Kant. And you can read that and go, wow, that's pretty accurate. But if that makes a mistake in that stupid little poem, it doesn't matter. And that's what AI is good for, is stuff that doesn't matter. So beware if you are one of the people who thinks that artificial intelligence is intelligent in some way. Do not buy the conspiracy bullshit that, Donald Trump is a robot run by AI or something. There are people who believe this shit. AI is not smart enough to do anything, let alone run a nation. Oh my God, Romania, the president of Romania is going to appoint AI to run the cabinet or something like that? No. It's mathematical vomit, ladies and gentlemen. And it's fun, it's interesting, it's cute, but it's a carnival trick. It's mathematical vomit. There's no intelligence. It's sheer prediction.